Where we started
Okay.
this, that-
You, so I'm gonna summarize very quickly,
Well, okay, just.
or you can, go on.
No, I'm delighted for you to think, but your opinion of how many seats is your opinion.
That's correct.
Okay, and there might be other opinions. I
There
know
are.
some that.
Yeah.
There always are.
And there are questions.
And
And there
there
are
are questions. So before we summarize opinion, let's just summarize facts.
Well, I like to keep my people informed.
Okay,
So we started this meeting by, I want this recorded. They are not only asking for road bed dining on West Broadway. They are not asking for anything on Reed Street.
yes,
And that is clear. No sidewalk seating and no roadbed seating. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So we are discussing the roadbed seating, and they have come in, they originally wrote, requested 82, and Mr. De Casales said that he would be going for 72. Am I correct?
Yes.
For roadbed. So that's where we are in summarizing. And there was some discussion, brief, about how Serafina really ignored the requests for taking down their outdoor dining and for 2 years. And that the community does not look favorably on that. So that's my discussion in summarizing. I have,
that was really helpful. What was the reason that I'm sorry, I just want to jot it down again and for the record. What was your reason for not within a year doing what every other restaurant in our neighborhood did? 2 years.
No, correct. First, I apologize on behalf of my Serafina team. I believe the concern wasn't the overall seating, but it was the vertical panels that had to be removed. Of which, and yes, I don't have any excuse or anything for it not, being removed in the proper time, which I did constantly each time. I personally did not ignore the request.
restaurant,
An excuse.
okay.
Okay, and I have a
So
question.
let's have some questions.
Questions and
And
discussions
state your
and
name.
other
Right,
opinions.
I'm Karen Stam. I'm a public member of the licensing committee. I didn't hear anything about whether or not the seating would be, and the structure would be removed at a certain point. What will it be made out of? Is this easily removable? And so on. Tell us about what you intend to put up and how you intend to keep it or not keep it.
Sure. May I get my computer?
I'm sorry, yes, of course, yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Yours, take it.
Okay, so it will of course adhere to the April 1st till November 29th. And we do have 4 other locations where this structure exists. And let me see if I can get that for you.
This is for the roadbed or a sidewalk?
Roadbed.
No, I'm asking what you're.
This is the
You
road.
want to see what the roadbed
Yeah,
is gonna
because
look like?
that's the one that's temporary. So I want to
Right,
see
okay.
how easily it can be
How
dismantled.
temporary it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we remove each of them within like a day's time.
Oh, Betty.
So, let me see.
That's just for executive.
So that space is currently empty, right in front of the restaurant, right?
When currently,
There
right,
is a sectioned off portion that used to have seating, I believe, but now the seating is removed and the belt area is still there in front
no,
of the restaurant.
No, we're talking about the roadbed, not the sidewalk.
no, so this is what the roadways look like.
Let me see. I hope somebody can get that on the,
You
I-
could send it to
Yeah.
Zach,
the people
yeah.
who
Mail
are
it
not
to you.
physically here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see, okay.
But that's DOT's problem.
It's a relatively simple structure, and
Yeah,
is it in, I mean, the picture of it looks as if it's not enclosed on three sides. Is there plastic there, or glass, or screening, or something?
Oh, so we're not allowed to.
yeah, they don't have to.
They don't have to.
It's
Well, no,
just-
I'm told
safer.
that we're not allowed to have,
Want to email it, you can email it back.
Okay,
that it must remain open.
okay,
You know,
Good for the
it can only
thieves.
come up a certain height on the three sides.
got it.
Mm.
Can you just, let me just open it up. Are you good, Karen?
Yeah, I
Okay, thanks. Other folks in the room?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's.
Sorry.
And,
Can you pull up the photographs that they had? I pass by that intersection a lot and it's always a crunch point.
it is,
Yeah,
it
that's-
is, because there's a
that is
lot
what
of,
I wanted to bring up.
well, I was,
And
yeah,
I think
let
the
her
reason
go.
is the frontal of the
one.
restaurant. There is a section that is portioned off. It shows in one of the photographs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There they are.
Like if you go to the last photograph,
Is that yellow structure now down?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
it was removed.
And what are
So
those
the
three
yellow
things?
structure was like making the outdoor closed in?
yes, but the green is still there.
There.
Green is still.
And
there.
what is that green thing?
Oh, it's like
The-
a
the,
partition
the barrier.
barrier.
So that's going, so my only concern is that when you have that barrier that you see,
Mhm.
what happens is that between where the bikes are parked and that divider, there's like not enough space for people to pass by and circulate. And then if we go on top of that and add
That's
more
DOT.
seats, that means going back and forth on the sidewalk, we're going to increase that population that goes back and forth from the restaurant to the seats. That to me is very tight.
And one of the things at the last meeting when we talked about this was the lining up and the people on the sidewalk going in and waiting to be served, and nobody could go past
Mm.
because of the structure, the bike and whatever
Yeah,
else.
That's why they took.
And
Reed
that's
Street.
why, that was one of the concerns.
And that's why you got rid of Reed Street, so you put them over there, right? People line up on Reed Street instead of West Broadway.
Other,
I'm helping you out here.
I would have to, I.
She's very good, she's very nice to you. Yes.
I'm helping you out here.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I work for the corporate office.
I know. And it's too bad nobody's here.
And they
but
sent
that-
you, okay.
They sent you,
God
right.
bless you.
Serafina has how many restaurants in New York City?
Oh, so, through our corporate office, we have 17
Yeah,
restaurants.
well, that many.
Let's just talk about what we're talking, this isn't some small mom and pop
Right.
operation.
No, but still,
Well,
okay.
I'm
You
just
you have more
making-
questions?
So we have Serafina, we have the
Okay.
cognac brand,
Yeah.
which is 3, soon to be 4.
Mhm.
And, we have one sushi restaurant called Tokuga.
Okay, so you guys are,
I'm just gonna go around, just make sure everyone gets a word in, and then we'll go back, okay? So is anybody else online that wants to ask a question, Kevin? Or anybody? Okay, no,
I do.
Betty.
Betty,
Betty.
hey Betty.
Yes, I want to stick just to this particular petition, which is simply for roadbed, and it's only on one street. But my objection is actually pretty huge. And again, as I saw with the sidewalk one, which I still don't see terribly resolved, the drawings are ridiculous. There's no
Mhm.
way, people are going to jump over one seat to get to their seat. Are people going, I mean, how are they going to get? The number they're requesting is based on such a ridiculous assumption and drawing that we can't even take that as much of a starting point. So I wish it was much more serious than they really are to visualize. If you look, the backs of the chairs, which I don't know that they're pulled back enough someone could get in front of them, but they are touching. How does somebody get to their chair from the walkway? So
Well-
it shows how ridiculous the number of chairs and tables were not seriously placed there in a way that they're usable.
And how does the wait person get between the seats?
How does the patient, how does
so-
the person who wants to sit there get there?
Good point, Betty. Do you want
So
to
I-
answer that, or?
So as I mentioned, I do agree that this, even though our architect did put in for this, I do agree that it looks excessive. If I may, I
Go right ahead.
was saying that
Do you want to plant
These-
something?
these would not, this first row of twos should not work. So that's why I'm more concentrating on here.
So,
You're taking out half of those, right? Basically.
all of them.
So all
Right,
the-
that's
all the
coming
twos?
out. I agree that these should come out, this front row,
Yeah, that's 20 seats, I believe.
because it's, we have 8 feet.
Yes,
So two rows max of deuces.
but to my fellow members' question, it's still the point of how you get between the tables. Even taking out those, they're so tight together, there's something that doesn't make
In
sense.
terms of service, how do they?
Yeah.
And the service,
Okay.
and that's what we're also asking.
Right.
It's saying.
Right.
It still looks punched up,
block,
you know.
Identified as spam.
Okay. Is there anybody else who has a question?
Frank
or-
was wanting to
No,
talk.
Oh, yeah, oh, I'm sorry.
Well, actually, excuse me, Alice, I still want to hear, how do you get in your seat when you can't even pull the seat back from the table? I mean, how magically does this happen?
I'm gonna, may I just say something right now? This is a bad drawing. We can't, in all fairness to you and to us, we can't make a decision on this tonight. You can, we could all vote it down, but I'm very concerned about the drawing and its inability to explain to us how the service is going to happen. I think Betty's totally correct, and how you move the tables. One side you can, but how do you get around? And the service path from the restaurant, it's across the bike lane. I'm still confused how you get in there. And then, and where are the entrances to each section of the roadway? Not at the 8 foot. It doesn't, it just doesn't, I can't fathom it.
It's not a feasible plan. I think
Yeah.
Betty, our member who's speaking to you, and you sound like you're agreeing, and Betty, to your question, there's a nod going on here that it doesn't work. I'm a little surprised because is Steve Wygota the architect who drew these up?
It's SWA.
Yeah, so that's an architect that's come to this board for the last 12 years, or his firm, and he specializes, as you probably know, in outdoor seating like this years ago. So I'm just surprised that this is a plan that isn't actually functioning. But anyway, be that as it may, it's not, as you're confirming, right?
I have a comment and a question. This drawing in some ways is misleading, although I think not deliberately so. What's here is what you're asking for tonight. But there's a lot more going on the sidewalk than is shown in the drawing, which is all the sidewalk seating. And in order to evaluate whether or not it's feasible for white people or any people to come in and out of the restaurant, I think we need to see a diagram that shows, perhaps with a different,
Right, of what you want now.
well, this is what he wants now, but what's already there.
That you have that drawing, but if they're not together.
Yeah,
We always ask for that, but somehow we never get it from any applicant to show sideway and roadbed in the same drawing. That's
Right.
to be critical. I don't know why.
We do ask for
We
that.
do how we could possibly evaluate, to Karen's point, I think I brought this up earlier,
Yeah.
it's impossible.
because there are so many obstacles here.
Right.
That, I mean, I shudder to think of, there are bicycles whizzing by at night without their lights on. There are people carousing on the sidewalk. I'm not sure how
That's very
pedestrians
active,
can
that's a
manage.
very active,
Extremely,
active corner. It's got the subway is there. There's a hotel there. But it's like the first major left turn when people come out of the tunnel. when they're coming from the tunnel and they're looking to go east, that's the Chambers Street is right there, and so there's a lot of stuff
So
going on.
we have a choice, and let me just see what everybody thinks. Our choice is for you to go and come back with a much more complete drawing. And I would suggest cutting the 72 seats, that's me. That's my suggestion. And giving us a better sense of how the service is going to come in, how they're going to, the waiters are going to serve the people, what's the closeness between all the tables, answering my friend Betty's response. Or we could vote on it tonight, which you'll get no.
In DOT.
So-
Yes,
I'll-
I'm just gonna say
No.
my piece, if I may, that on behalf of people who feel very strongly against this application. First of all, you have a rooftop,
I didn't speak yet.
right?
Right,
So you have a lot of outdoor seating already. You
exactly.
then have 40 more seats on the street, so you have a
I
roof
agree.
of, what did we establish, over 200 seats? I mean, that's an immense amount of seating outdoors.
Yes.
And then you have 40 more
Right.
on our sidewalk.
Exactly.
And we have established that it's very difficult for those in the neighborhood, I happen to be one of them, to walk on that sidewalk. And you have not established yourself as a very good neighbor. And in fact, had been somewhat misleading, because my understanding is in the 40 seats that were approved, it was with the understanding that you would remove the structure on the street. So for me, all of this to say, I personally would absolutely not be able to vote for this now or in the future, no matter the number of seats you take out. That's coming from me. That's personal, but I just want to say that people have to remember what's on the roof of over 200 seats. And to Tammy's point that always gets brought up, these toilets, where the bathrooms, that's very unclear to me. So I don't know if you want to continue it and have them come back with half the seats that are on the roadway, but that's your position.
Francis, go.
Francis, whatever you think we should, how do we proceed?
No, I agree with Alice, and that was my feeling. I think that, and I'm gonna say it, I think that your company is being real greedy because of the fact that you have all of this outdoor seating already, and then you wanna take up more public space in order to have more, and when this whole outdoor dining thing started, it was to help people who did not have indoor space or did not have space, to help them, you already have indoor space. You have a lot of space, indoors, whereas there's a lot of other smaller restaurants that if they got 2 seats outside, it would be great for them. I just think that this is excessive. And again, you already have a tremendous amount of outdoor seating. I am not comfortable with one ADA bathroom that's in the hotel, actually.
Oh, we,
No,
so we have in the hotel one and we have one in the restaurant.
one.
No, you have 2.
Yeah.
No, you have one and you have access to another, so that's 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, and so you want all of these seats and you're not, I guess you meet the number because there's a certain amount of people you have to have for a number of bathrooms and so forth. But anyway, I'm with Alice, and I'm already like not.
We've got Jared, wait a minute, we got a new person. I'd like to
Okay,
have-
but I want to remind everybody of something.
Mhm.
If we don't make a decision, DOT will make a decision without us. Am I not correct, Zach?
Hey,
If we
If
don't,
you're-
if we have to weigh in some way here, okay?
Yeah, we do.
And we have to weigh in on what would be on some degree acceptable to us and what is not acceptable to us. If we say no, it's very complicated. It's not so simple with DOT. Am I correct?
Right, you were
Speak up.
also asking if they could come back. And I think, well, they've done it before, they've withdrawn, I guess, and then come back.
They did.
And I think you had to withdraw with DOT at
So-
that point.
So yes, when we applied for the, if I'm not mistaken,
Sidewalk.
we were applying for both that.
That's correct.
Right,
Correct.
right,
I think we had the two applications.
That's correct.
right, and then,
And yes, at that point, to get the sidewalk
So-
seating,
you,
we.
you let go.
Right, yeah, I remember clearly. So,
It-
yeah. All right, so wait, let's let Jared speak.
Yep. And just to clarify, how many seats do you have on the roof again?
Well,
100 and.
No,
No, no, no, no, no.
No, it's 210, I was saying.
It's
inside the
about
restaurant.
58.
58.
But on the, so that 210, I think 268 is what you had
Yeah.
for 58. I think.
Something like that.
58 seats on the roof,
Right, they're not always there, like meaning
okay,
the roof.
but you have access to 58 seats of outdoor seating on the roof of your restaurant and 40 seats on the sidewalk of your restaurant. So that is 98 seats of outdoor seating. I think
Already.
You're very fortunate.
And then
But,
they won't.
okay, Jared, Shears has something to say also on community board.
Hi, can you hear me on this? I'm on my phone.
Yep.
Yes,
Perfectly.
I just, I wanted to bring up the application from last year as it relates to this one, because we had, this whole long conversation with the applicant in the meeting that took place a year ago today about the two previous applications. And one of the things that we discussed at length, and you can go back to the video from last year and take a look, was the existence of a COVID era lean-to basically that was attached and affixed to the building that took up half of the sidewalk. And a large part of the conversation a year ago was about, if this board was going to support the sidewalk and roadway cafe applications, that structure had to be removed. That the conversation was in February of 2025. It was required to be removed in November of 2024. And so our conversation a year ago was about the fact that it was several months past the deadline that nearly every other restaurant in the city had complied with, but this one had not. And we were told it would be taken down. It wasn't taken down until this past fall when the DOT, ran an inspection and a violation. So to have an application now again for the same thing, where it was a candid conversation that we had last year, or less than candid result, is really difficult to support. I was just going to say, I am sympathetic to the plight of restaurants. I know it's an incredibly challenging business, but it was completely indefensible, especially for an applicant with the resources that this one has.
right.
Thanks, Jared. Anybody else want to comment or ask a question? I think at this point, are we as the committee going to,
We call the question.
write a resolution?
Two ideas.
Yeah, we've got two things going. So you want to postpone this and have them come back with a new plan?
I do.
Okay. I don't support that. I would support that we turn in this agenda, and write the resolution now. But you're saying that's a problem because we may end up having all,
Well, you have to weigh the city, and the city will screw us. You should all pardon me. So that's what bothers me. I've been through this 1,000 times. If we don't come up with something that is within reason, what are your hours? By the way, I didn't ask that question. What are your hours for the road bed?
It would be 11:30, 12 o'clock, just, for lunch, and then we would go till 10 at night,
7 days a week. Is that 7 days a week?
7 days a week, yes.
Closing at 10.
We can close at 10 if need be.
The road bed.
Right. The kitchen, shuts down, 9:30, 10 o'clock, so by that point, like, no.
So can I just ask you, Susan, can we not write a resolution that's very clear about our objections or whatever our reservations are, assuming this is, committee's vote, and then you state in that, obviously, if you don't want any, DOT will assume, well, we clearly should have less. Why would it be better for them to come back and show us the plan with 10 less seats next week or next month?
Well, I
I'm
would
not sure.
suggest that they come back showing us 40 less seats or 30 less seats. Because DOT will say they didn't like it, they don't have the same view as SLA with us. And they can say, we're going to give them what they want. And that's what always bothers me. Am I correct? I'm not pissing in the wind.
Betty has her hand up and a big smile on your face. Betty, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree with Susan on this one. I think that until there's a drawing that, I believe in giving them the number they legitimately qualify for. This drawing does not show this isn't a serious drawing. Because again, you can't pull a chair back to sit in it. If you can't do that, how can any of these people get to their seat? If so, are we going to just guess how many seats there should be? Or do we give it back to them and say, give us a serious drawing that shows where there's space for the seat to be pulled away and a real person to be able to sit down? And if there are seats, if they have to pass one other person to get to their seat, how can they do that? I mean, just the legitimacy, how do the customers sit down?
It's a fair point. One other thing we haven't discussed that I find in this particular plan is really egregious is the safety aspect. There are many examples where you have to cross a bike lane. That already is absolutely like a death knell to me, having gone to these restaurants. However, your restaurant happens to have bike parking
Station.
in front of your restaurant, and not one or two, but a load of them. As you can see, right, you see that. That is just a recipe for disaster. You have all these people who are going to be sitting, walking across the bike lane, your wait staff, and you have bikes coming in and out of there, not just occasionally, maybe very, very often. And I think that's the safety factor that we really need to take into consideration in this particular application.
So, my suggestion.
Can I say I disagree with that?
You're welcome to say whatever you want.
If they have a number of pickups, which I suspect they have a lot of deliveries, and if deliveries are coming, they need to put their bikes somewhere. And at least this is an organized way versus them choosing where on the sidewalk to just leave, abandon them and walk away to get the food delivery that they are there to make. So I applaud them for actually having it.
Oh, I think I wasn't clear, sorry. I'm not saying it's a problem to have the bike parking. I'm saying that having roadbed dining in the location across a bike lane when there is a lot of action from both the restaurant and people who are just visiting, that makes it a more dangerous location. There's no problem having bikes there. What I'm saying is we might want to reconsider actually having tables on the other side of this particular restaurant. That's all.
So my suggestion,
Yeah, Jared.
go on, Jared.
No, I was just gonna say, I just have a fundamental disagreement with the premise. It's just, this is an applicant, again, that came to this community board and told us one thing and then did something completely opposite. Why should this board support this proposal, any version of it?
Well, I think we tend to disagree on that one, Sharon. I think there may be plenty of people who don't want to support it. I always worry about not supporting and what can happen by the authority that has regulatory authority like DOT, what they could do without us voicing what we want to voice and showing.
I'm not saying don't voice an opinion, anyway, much sense.
And we could write a resolution to that, but I don't feel that legitimately whatever they've done, and I don't disagree with you, but that this is a terrible plan and we should not be subject to it. And I would ask him to withdraw it and come back. And Jared, people are quite willing to vote against it, but we have to have something to see that makes sense. I'm sorry, I can't just do it willy-nilly.
Can I say something?
Jared, you still have your hand. Are you another comment on this?
No, it's from Jeff.
Okay,
I have my hand.
there's somebody else. who
Yes,
hasn't
can you hear
spoken.
me?
I want to just have people have it.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm basically on board with Susan and Betty from the perspective of, as I understand how these proceedings work, if we simply reject, which seems to be what Alice and Jared are suggesting, DOT, we run the risk that DOT will simply ignore us and they will approve something, almost certainly something that we don't like, as opposed to asking the applicant to come back with a better plan, where I appreciate the objections, Alice and Jared, that you are raising. And I kind of feel the same way that you feel on those points. But I think we have to recognize that as a practical matter, if we want something that would be least damaging to the community and perhaps even beneficial if the plan is modified sufficiently, we're better off asking them to come back with a better plan. So that's my comment.
And, just.
Brandon has something.
Brendan, hi.
Hi, Brendan.
Hey, thanks. I mean, you can make your own decisions, but I don't think I feel like there's an opportunity here. I'm also in opposition to this, but there's an opportunity here to actually just claim why we are opposing this. And it's for not just, us being Karen's or Chris's, but it's for legitimate reasons of safety. The actual rules are not being applied here, or they're kind of vaguely being applied here, both in terms of the ADA access to bathrooms, safety for cyclists there, the rules for people actually being able to pass through. I feel like there might be an opportunity to say we are rejecting this for these reasons. And not just because we don't like it because they already have a lot of seating and they've been a bad neighbor already, but it's for DOT reasons, where then they would actually listen to us in our rejection versus it just being them doing their own thing.
I have a suggestion.
Okay.
Karen.
Karen,
Okay, my suggestion would be that we write a resolution that sets out what we would approve if they were willing, and that they agree, we have their agreement, and we'll get it on the tape, to withdraw this application and not to go forward at DOT at this time. Can we get that assurance from you?
Yes.
And then
yes.
if you have something at DOT, that you tell them to pause it or to adjourn it, or whatever terminology they have, so that no action will be taken on it until after you've come back here.
Yes.
But we wouldn't write, there's no resolution to be written.
We can't write one that says what it is that we want, or, no,
no.
okay?
Tricia. Hi.
Hi, sorry, I was muted. I am a block from Serafina. I love the restaurant, but I've never understood their desire to do this at all. If you've been on that corner, it's a terrible place for a roadbed. And I thought we approved a really nice setup with outdoor tables. Did I miss a meeting? Is that gone? Is it happening?
It's all there, that's
They
the
want more.
sidewalk. They want.
Okay.
They want
roadbed
more.
now. The roadbed is under a different auspice that we have to deal with DOT. So
Okay,
that
do they
is
have,
Here it
do
is,
they
Tricia.
have
It's
the,
up
I mean, it's a huge amount of seats. Do they have the setup with restrooms for something this size? Is that's another question for this?
Yeah,
They do.
but they meet the bare minimum, but still, in terms of environmental location, it's like you said, Patricia, it's an awful place to have
It's
with a
so,
bike lane,
so
and a
busy.
subway station.
Yes. It's just everything converges in front of this place. And it can be three people just trying to do this to get past each other. And then I'm thinking about the messengers and the electric bikes coming down the bike path and the wait staff. Like, I don't see this at all. So I also would like to ask for a regroup on it. I'd be surprised if DOE approved it. It's a hugely hazardous proposal.
Don't be
Don't be
surprised
surprised.
at all. So we don't have to go on and on.
Oh, Zach makes a good point, Zach Deliver.
I- This has been, like, these get vetted by DOT to then come to us. So like the layout and the setup and the position is all vetted through DOT.
You know,
So, at the DOT level, this is like what they allow as their, max setup or however, but this has
And
been
we
vetted.
can't
It doesn't mean
ask
you're
them to come
pushing-
do a site visit, Zach, and put their boots on the ground here so they can see what this
Oh.
looks like.
oh,
I mean,
Tricia, if only from your lips to her ears. No, I'm
well, I mean,
sorry.
they'll have to wait for the
Only
accident then, I
control-
guess.
Now, that's why I'm asking Mr. De Canella to come back, to withdraw, to tell DOT you're gonna redo the plans. We're not making any promises, but certainly there is no way for us to vote on this the way it is set up. Okay? It's just poorly done and greedy, but that's beside the point. But it's poorly done and it doesn't give us the access and the understanding of how this roadbed is gonna work. So what would you like to do?
So, first, I wanted to say, because I'm hearing, community board and DOT, like, meaning I respect the community board because you are our customers. You're our clients, so, yeah, I want to make something that's amicable on both sides. In regards to the plan, would you be able to pull up the sidewalk, please?
Yeah. That's right.
And they shouldn't have sent you by yourself.
I appreciate everything.
Yeah, they
So,
set you up.
so the subway is on the right side of that plan. So what I would like to say is, that entrance that's on the far left,
Yeah,
that would be the traffic, the server traffic coming out with the food and then
into the
entering,
road.
entering to the roadbed, like through one lane rather than
They're
like
not there.
be random like that. And yes, I do understand that we would have to reduce the number of seats that are in there. And we can show you the updated plan and, as far as spacing between the tables.
You have to come back with a new plan.
Have you done any roadbed before? Would this be the first time you've had roadbed?
Well, we applied for roadbed, of course, for Tribeca, last year. We currently have
That's this.
This is
4 or
Tribeca.
5 roadbeds.
Here, in this location, you
No,
never had any roadbed?
Uptown, in your other location?
Yeah.
You have roadbed?
Oh, yes, Cognac 70, Serafina 55th and Broadway, 79th
My
Street.
point here is that you're
See that?
asking for an enormous number of seats with an enormously large biking stations we've established and this traffic back and forth. I mean, at a minimum, you would probably be best served and best serve the community that you're trying to serve with a much less of a number, so you could test the waters with this. I mean, this
Yes.
is like, to me, as Tricia, who frequents your restaurant, it's a death knell a little bit. To say, you really are setting yourself up a little bit, and I
So-
think it's a problem, so.
Would you
Come
like
back.
to come back in March?
I'm willing to come back. Yes, I would.
So you have to inform for us, right, Zach?
You'd have to send an email to us and DOT saying you're withdrawing.
Well, withdraw or suspend. I'm only asking.
What did you do last time?
Well, so the last time we withdrew and then, so I asked, to Penny Rangel.
Yeah,
Penny said submit a new application, so, which of course is in progress. If I withdraw, then would I have to pay again to reapply?
okay, so if we're not doing the exact same thing, then,
What are the rules on that?
I don't know if you guys have done this before, but you could potentially update your drawing.
Yes,
So you
I
could
gotta have that,
pause and update your drawing,
yes.
I think.
I
I'm
think so
not
too.
sure.
Let's all double check, okay? I would hate to, I don't, I'm not asking you to withdraw. I mean, some may, but I'm not. But you are going to review, or however you pause to review and
We'd have to submit new drawings.
submit new drawings,
Yeah.
okay?
Revise.
And come back to us in a month. Correct, Jack?
Yeah, I am not positive you
We
can
will
do
check
that.
on it, Mr. Deacon.
Yes.
But
And you check.
if he can't do that, then we would have to make a vote at some point. So you could do that at full board. That's really the only place where you could do it.
I have a feeling they're going to allow us to do this. I'm not the least bit worried. So you send an email to us, talk to DOT, and we will do our due diligence as well.
Yeah, you can email Penny and us,
Okay.
at the card I gave you.
Yes,
Both at the same time and say you wish to hold and submit new drawings.
You need to revise.
Where do we have a record of this particular, all the thoughts that are here? This is simply just going to go into the final resolution when this next.
We have it
iteration
recorded.
comes. No, I appreciate that. I just mean, we will then have a resolution when
Correct.
Yes.
you
when
come back. Okay. Well, I think it's interesting.
Can we incorporate by reference all the points raised tonight in the
So we can
resolution?
take notes on this. We'll figure something out. Don't worry about that. That's easy. All right?
thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks.
Tricia has her hand up still.
Tricia, is there something else you wanted to say or your hand just up?
No.
Okay. Yeah, well, thank you very much. I hope you've heard us about the concerns. I mean, this business, would you come back and take out 10 seats? I can tell you, for me personally, and I think for a number of other people on this board, it's not gonna work. So I think you might want to establish maybe just having the seats in one corner and giving that a try for the first year and then maybe coming back, 10 seats on one side, all the way away from the subway, that's not on the corner, that doesn't have any of that. I'm looking at your plan thinking, how could you, to me, you don't need any more outdoor seating. I have to say, walking down that street is a misery, already very difficult. So there'll be people that you have to appreciate who really feel strongly about it. So just keep that in mind as you go back to your plans, if you would. And
Yes,
thank you.
understood.
You've been very patient.
And plus, that's.
Thank
the
you.
Entrance to
You're
the,
welcome, thank you all.
to the hotel. That's the main
All right,
entrance to the
we
hotel.
did it. Thank
So
you.
people
Thank you, Susan.
coming in.
The hotel is on the,
Thanks,
Bakery
Karen,
restaurant,
for
too.
coming.
Karen, thank you. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Betty.
Yeah, okay, so basically all we have left is committee reports. I guess we can very quickly go through this. Is there anything over there from licensing?
We did it.
How about land use? Do you want to utter a few words there?
Yes, land use, we are going to review this summary sheet that I'm working on. I was hoping to get it done before the meeting. I'm still working on it. I will circulate it to,
Everybody.
the committee first to chime in and see if it is, the information is presented in a way that is, digestible. And then once everyone comments on it, we'll revise it and include it for the full board meeting. And this is to kind of expedite the reviews that we think are going to increase in number in the upcoming months, and the amount of time that we have has shrunk. The number of projects has gone up, so we have to have a more, clear way of going after the projects to understand and convey the information to the public.
And you're speaking specifically of 65 and 101 Franklin or other project?
We can, and it's a template, so we can use it.
It's a
for-
template, okay, great, that's really great. If I could just add on to land use, it's an extremely important meeting that's going to occur on March 9th for land use. There are 2 applications. that are new for us, and they're after City of Yes. And they're one's 65 Franklin, one's 101. You'll be sent all this information, and thanks to Netta for the summary sheet that will try to highlight what's really critical. But what's really critical is that this one committee board meeting is our only shot at having a negotiation, if you will, hopefully more successful than tonight, with the applicant, who is looking to do quite a bit of stuff over on these two sites. And it's not a ULURP, but it's like a ULURP, but it doesn't go through the Manhattan Borough President's Office. It doesn't go through council. It only the comments that are issued here at this board will be heard. So it's a very important meeting to come if these are sites that, which they should be, of interest to you, because they're the beginning of the results in City of Yes, and very interesting. So anyway, I just want to let people really highlight that's a very important meeting. Okie dokie. Okay, Jeff, how about you? Anything?
Nothing major and earth-shaking, other than, because I guess we've become immune to all of the disruption from the resiliency project, so we continue to discuss those subjects in our meetings, and there will be upcoming some additional presentations and work on some mitigation related activity regarding the Northern Project. But if you're interested in what's going on and sort of on the grounds and the physical impacts of the construction projects, by all means, attend the committee meetings or watch the YouTubes afterwards.
Thanks a lot.
Brendan can do, Brendan, ask Brendan if he's gonna do quality of life.
Brendan, you're being asked if you're doing quality of life by Francis.
Oh, I think Mariana might be on, but I'm not officially, I didn't get the official okay to be online. But for quality of life, I don't think there's any major things. We did pass on drawing a resolution for the 100 feet rule around a place of worship. And then we got an update on the, the American Stock Exchange building. And I think essentially we're able to negotiate a good relationship between like the neighbors and getting some improvements on the safety and structure around that area, as they have been under construction-esque and also violating some construction issues. But that's just a long way to say no major issues from quality of life. It'll just be an update report.
Thanks, Mariama. Welcome. I just see you're here. Did you want to add anything onto that? I don't know if you were.
No, I wasn't even at the whole meeting. I had 4 Zooms yesterday and I was like toggling. So thank you, Brandon, for doing it.
Okay. Thanks, Mariama. Okay, Betty.
Jess will be the one to make the final decision what to do, but we have no resolutions. So in fact, I can't see dwelling a lot on reports. The Blue Highways is a very big item, but people should really watch YouTube and listen to the details. No report is going to do justice to what people should hear from that. As far as the others, they're kind of ongoing issues, so they'll be spoken about more at future meetings anyway.
Okay. Thanks, Betty. Andrew.
Nothing to report. We didn't have a meeting this month.
Right, okay. I'm sorry, there's somebody named Victoria's phone. Who is that? Who's joined us? Sarah?
Hi, everyone. This is Victoria Hillstrom. I'm here over the landmark application for 385 Greenwich that I find extremely troubling. 385 Greenwich, aka 71 North Moore, are our lofts since 1982, with our life savings invested in these buildings to bring up to code. 385.
Victoria, I'm going
Yes.
to interrupt you. Wait, this is not the place to bring this up, okay? This is the executive committee. You can bring it up at the larger meeting of the community board when we vote on the resolutions.
I
This
see.
is not the place to bring it up.
And
Yeah,
when
sign up
would
for-
that be?
That's next Tuesday, 6 o'clock. You can do it online, or you can come in person, and you just need to sign up to speak at the public session.
I will be in Paris at Fashion Week, but I just would like everybody to be alerted that this is fraud. Our lofts were illegally vacated. There was an architect that claimed there is no work. No. There is an
Thank you.
architect.
Okay, thank you. Sorry,
Do you want me to
list.
summarize that in my meeting summary?
You'll get to summarize it at the big meeting, Jason.
Okay, then I won't talk anymore. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Okie dokie. I think, I guess Tricia, anything to deliver
We had
here?
one item that was removed at the last minute because it was resolved. So I'll just go on the record and say the food trucks that took us 18 months to get rid of on the sidewalk in front of PS 234 came back. And the school took action and we're able to get them to leave. So for today, everything is fine over there. And we're just waiting and seeing.
Great. All right, I think we've come to the end, except for my committee, which is, again, a really important meeting on Monday, where it'll be pretty much the only time that you'll be able to opine on the FIDI Seaport plans before they go into environmental review. It's a critically important meeting. It's one that you really shouldn't miss if you want to say something about those plans. So I encourage everyone, and to spread that word, into your network, your colleagues and all. Yes, Susan.
I want to know, maybe Trish knows, I want to know, didn't you have a meeting, she's now gone, with the Department of Social Services around the shelter?
We did have a meeting, Tammy and myself and, oh my God, I'm blanking. There was another person with us. I'm just tired after this day. Sorry, guys. We did go to the meeting. We met the new administration. We basically had to have the same meeting all over again because, of course, they weren't up to speed. And we made the same arguments. And I was encouraged by the deputy mayor saying that they would take it back. They would consider what we said. They have indeed opened. There are 10 people living there. They are over 60 years of age, which they felt made a big difference. But sorry. The emergency provisions they have put in place until they can make the bigger decision. Sorry.
All right, well. We'll let you.
They're going to have security. They're going to have security there.
Thanks, Tricia. Francis, did you have something?
Sorry, look, add on to the quality of life meeting. We had a introduction to our new fabulous website.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the 311 portal. Yes. Yeah, so the fellow presented our 311 complaint database portal, which is now live on our website. If you go to, I could just pull it up very briefly. If you go to our website, I'll share my screen. Should be close enough. Okay, and you go to resources, 311 complaint data in beta is here, and you can check out and walk through different aspects of the 311 data that is now available to look at visualized on a map form. On a map form by date, by address. The address is not working quite properly yet, but we'll get that probably this week. Yeah, you can use drop downs by agency, complaint type, et cetera, and filter by date, to check those out. And then there's a trend, line to, after you filter, you can see the different trends. So
And-
that's this, and it's still being worked on. And, we're looking to also potentially add, different data. So if anyone has ideas on, one, we'll take feedback on this. And two, if you have other data sets that you think we should potentially include, that's, not necessarily 311 data, but not complaint data, but other city data that's potentially, available, like, she's looking at maybe finding, NYPD crime statistics, crash statistics from DOT, other ideas too. So if you have ideas, kick it to us, over the next, month.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Does it have to get the data from a specific site or resources, or can it be any of the open information that's available in the open data?
And we have a pipeline built for, open data, NYC open data right now. So like that 311 complaint data, automatically updates daily. If it's a different data source, then it would probably be, a path that we wouldn't have yet and might require another intern or fellow down the line, but, it's good to have on the table.
And how far back does it go?
This one?
A minute.
A minute?
This one, I think, goes back to 18.
2018,
Correct.
not 1800s.
All right.
Yeah, so, by the way, Matthew Fenton at the Broadsheet did a great article today on the 311 and the numbers and how many complaints in our neighborhoods and such. Was terrific. Last thing is just, I happened to attend the borough president's, meeting, the borough board this morning for Tammy. And one thing to all remember is we've all been invited on Sunday
Yes.
to the inauguration, and it's evidently a sellout. So you should I was encouraged to very quickly get online, and they assured you that even if you don't get in the main room, there's another room that right next to it, and there's food and entertainment, and it sounds fabulous. And it's this Sunday, 1 to 4 at Alice Tully Hall. It's an Eventbrite thing, and you can go on Eventbrite and find it. Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
And then.
Meeting adjourned. Thanks very much.
Isn't there a jail meeting in March?
Zach?
In March. Yeah,
Undoubtedly there is, yeah.
Oh,
I
Brendan.
think the date.
Isn't there a Goldman meeting?
I'm sorry,
before?
Brendan, are you raising, your hand is up, sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to call out. It might be worthwhile, and apologies if this is mansplaining, but related to the fellow work that's happening, I was doing some homework and came across the Open Data NYC, and so it might be worthwhile sharing that link with everyone on the board, to kind of help generate ideas of what other sources we can pull into it. I was just looking at some of the other projects that other folks have done, so that might generate ideas.
Thanks, Brendan.
Great.
Anybody else comments, or can we, yep, no, looks good. So we're gonna close up shop.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much, great to see everyone.
Thank you.